Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at my second generation Toyota Prius. So far there have been 5 generations of the Toyota Prius, and each and every one of them has its strengths and weaknesses. The Toyota Prius was first released in 1997 in Japan, and it ran from 97 to 2000. Then from 2000 to 2003, that first generation was available for sales worldwide. The second generation ran from 2003 all the way up to 2009. The third generation went from 2009 all the way up to 2015. The fourth generation went from 2015, had a facelift in 2018, and ended in 2021. And from 2022 we had the fifth and current generation, which went on sale. Now, speaking of the second generation, which we have here in front of us, it went from 2003 and 2009, and it's powered by a 1.5 liter Atkinson cycle engine, which puts out 76 horsepower, and that is supplemented by an electric motor that puts out 67 horsepower. The transmission is a single-speed planetary gear system, and you have the power split between the electric system and the gas motor. There you just saw the smart key, which was a first for this level of vehicle. All the way back in 2004, and with the smart key you just simply had to approach the vehicle with the key in your pocket, and you were able to open up the door just like that, and inside there was a slot for the key, but you didn't have to put the key in the slot all the time. If the battery in the key fob died, then you could put it in the slot and start up the vehicle. Otherwise, you just left it in your pocket, and you had the push to start button, which would start the vehicle, as you can see right there. The capacity of the hybrid battery in this vehicle is quite large. It is actually 1.310 kilowatt hours, and the chemistry is nickel metal hydride. And also you had some very advanced features for 2004, including the touch screen, which also included navigation. The climate controls of the vehicle were you could change them via the touch screen, which you can see, and worth noting, that was also a common failure point. You had the climate controls on the steering wheel, which was, even today you don't find that on many vehicles. That was quite advanced, coming back from all the way in 2004. You had controls for the audio system, the climate control, of course, the radio, which had a CD player, single CD, and also a tape player. Right there you could control the temperature without taking your eye off the road, right on the steering wheel. And if you look on the left door panel and the dash, you would see that that was mostly painted. Later versions of the Prius had a different type of plastic which did not peel. There you have the dash with the information concerning the vehicle. You have reverse, neutral, drive, and then there's another option, which is the B. That's like for if you're going down a very long and steep mountainside, then you could use the B function to use more of the engine to slow the vehicle down without overcharging the nickel metal hydride battery. Of course, this was all drive by wire, so there's no actual connection between the shifter and the transmission. There you have a button for the park, to shift into park. You have the odometer trip button, switch between kilometers per hour and miles per hour. EPA numbers were 48 miles per gallon city, 45 miles per gallon highway and 46 miles per gallon combined. This was the early days, so each time you started the vehicle, you had to acknowledge that you know the GPS is something you have to be aware of, and that it could give you false information, and you take entire responsibility. There you have the rear view mirror, which was again on almost not very common back in the day, and we're talking 2004. There you have the map light, and also you could switch between having the light on or when you open up the door. You also have the courtesy mirror there, which is lighted both for the driver and passenger with mirror. All in all, it's a very spacious cabin and very comfortable for long trips, but the quality of the materials on the seats, it gets stained very easily. Again, there I'm showing you guys the painted on plastic and the dark surface, you know, after many years, and if you scratch it a lot, it looks very unsightly. And that was corrected, I believe, around 2005 2006, where they went to that type of plastic which is not painted on, and it has a rough surface. But if it's in good condition, it looks really nice, just like you see in this example. You have the curtain airbags, and again, these are some very advanced features for 2004 2005. There you have the armrest, which is a very common wear item. Most of the Prius that you see from this time period, they have really worn out seats, stained seats, and also worn armrest up front. So we swing around once more. You have a little storage cubby right there. Excellent for cell phones. Single CD player, cassette player. You have a storage, 2 glove boxes, one on top, one below. The one below is quite large. You have 2 cup holders up front, and when not in use, they fold away very nicely. In there is a 12-volt outlet, which you can use to put plug in your accessories, and there's a second 12-volt outlet. This one does have the upgraded JBL sound system. There you have the controls for the cruise control. Works very well. It's a standard cruise control, not the adaptive cruise controls like you would find on more modern vehicles. Visibility all around is quite good, a little bit restricted towards the back, but otherwise it's a very nice, spacious and airy cabin, as you guys can see. The door opens wide. Down there you have the fuse box, a little bit hidden. It's supposed to have a cover. Mine is missing the cover. And if we open up the hood, there's a second fuse box on the driver's side underneath the hood. There you have the adjustment for the steering, 2 degrees of freedom. It can tilt up and down. That's it. I don't think it telescopes. To open up the gas tank, you pull on that lever and it springs open just like that. That's a frequent break point, so that plastic there would very frequently fail. You can get a replacement on from eBay for about $30. It has a metal bracket that holds it so that way it doesn't break. And there you can see the trunk, quite spacious. There's some lighting that you can use to see in the dark. There is a privacy cover, which I believe is optional. You can buy, and that way you can cover the trunk space and people can see what you have there. There you have the tools to change your tire in case you have a flat, and underneath that you have a donut spare tire along with the jack. On the right side there, that's where you have the 12-volt battery. It resides underneath that cover right there. All in all, a very spacious trunk space. For later versions, that's where you would have the backup camera, so you can see the proportions of the vehicle. There you have the antenna. No satellite radio on this version. And that's the rear. You can see the back seats, the rear of the seats, they have pockets. This is and there you have the vent for the high voltage battery. It has a cooling fan built into it. To put the seats down, you have 1/3, 2/3. You push down on that button and then you fold the seats forward. My area, as you can see, is very cold, so we always have blankets to have in the car in case of an emergency, in case your car breaks down on the side of the road, which I don't expect this Prius to to do that to me. Once more, let's go back underneath the hood. The hood is very, very light. It's made of aluminum. I did test it out. You put a magnet to it, it won't cling to it because it's a non-ferrous metal. It's aluminum. There you have the brake fluid reservoir, the coolant, and then there's a second coolant bottle which you can see like towards the center, which is for the high voltage inverter. And there you have the second fuse box. And down straight in front of me you can see the yellow dipstick, which we use to check the engine oil. This version does have a pulley driven water pump. Later versions after this went to an all-electric system. But the air conditioner compressor here is also powered electrically, so there is no belt powering the power steering or the compressor for the air conditioning system. Those are all electric. The accessory belt, which you can see under the hood, to the left, that's to the passenger side, is there to power the water pump only. So with that, I think we can conclude this video and say that this is one of the most reliable versions of the Toyota Prius, except maybe for the latest version, which is version 5 of the generation 5 of the Toyota Prius. Let me know your thoughts in case I forgot anything that you think might have been important.